All right, it's time for the intro. Welcome.
Welcome to Football and the Kitchen Sink. Get ready for in-depth conversation from the world of high school, college, and pro football. Plus some insight about the rest of the world. All this, along with some fun and humor along the way. Pull up a chair, grab a coffee or a beer, and join us. It's Football and the Kitchen Sink. Here are your hosts, Coach Schuman and Coach DePascali.
Well, we're back. Another episode of Football and the Kitchen Sink. A lot of little knick-knack things going on today in the world of football. Which makes it interesting. But nothing super serious, right? No inauguration day for Joe Biden. So I guess the stories, I guess, keep down the stories on the day. So that I guess that's the focus of the day.
I did see one funny thing about that, whether or not it was true or not. That President Trump left a note on the desk for Joe Biden when he got in that simply said, "Joe, you know I won. Sincerely."
No, come on. I don't buy that. Wait,
listen, either way, I think it's kind of funny, but could you see him not doing something like that?
I can see him doing that. I
think that's why it's kind of funny, is because you're looking at this saying he might have actually done that.
He might have actually done it. It's not so unbelievable to think that could have happened.
That's your thinking. Talk about what is that, like a mic drop? Like, boom.
Yeah, that is funny. That is really funny.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
And if it was true, that makes it even funnier.
Right. But I did read a lot up on where he'll be living down in in Palm Beach County in Florida on, some monster spread with 500 something rooms. And I mean, it's on a golf course. It's from what I've read, a secluded island pretty much that, is his kind of own domain.
Mar-a-Lago, you mean? Mar-a-Lago?
Mar-a-Lago, yeah.
I think that's his development, I think.
That's what I'm saying. It's like his spot. And it's kind of, I mean, I was reading wow, it's almost like he's been living in some pseudo whatever this whole time. Meanwhile, he's a gazillionaire. I mean, and he can go now. He can go and just really God knows what he's only going to do now. I really, that's his own thing. But I wonder how it feels. I'm sure he's whatever. But is it a weight lifted off your shoulders? Is it, damn, I had so much more to do? I don't know. The ending for anybody, it's you can link it up today. I mean, Phillip Rivers calls it quits. He retires after 17 seasons in the league. He hangs it up too. I mean, how do you feel on that last day of your career? I don't know. It's the ending. Some people look at it as the ending. It's the start. Who knows? Everybody's got their own thing. But either way, we're moving forward in the country, and let's see how this guy does. Next man up.
Right. Well, we shall see. It has begun. So, it's interesting. That's really, really.
I know. If the letter is true, it really is funny.
So, so tell me a little bit. So, a lot of different little things going on in college football. Tell me about it. I saw Football Scoop has Kevin Steele is now acting head coach, or was that named yesterday? I guess
he's the interim head coach at Tennessee. What I read up on today was that they're giving him what is it, carte blanche? Is that what I'm saying? Is that full? He's full access to everything. They're giving him permission to make staff moves.
Interesting.
Yeah, to establish a staff to kind of put guys in
be the head coach.
He's the interim head coach. So are they leaning that way, kind of giving him some of the keys and then eventually gonna give him the full boat? in my eyes, if you're allowing a guy to make staff moves, you're establishing something there that there's going to be some type of tie. But I think that's kind of a good move as well for Tennessee because they know, when people become available, they take the jobs that are there and ready to go. So you kind of have to, rather than just sit there mulling and say, we got to get a head coach and then lose out on certain assistants because they've been hired elsewhere because you're in that process. I think that they're getting a kind of a jump on it to get the right people in the building. And you just hope that Kevin Steele does the right job, which I'm sure he will. He's a professional. Move forward.
What happens if they don't choose?
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, if he's not the head coach, now you have people in certain positions, but they're thinking more, at least we have guys in the building. You know what I mean? At least we're going to get the best guys in here, that someone who we respect enough to give him the interim tab put in the right place. It's it's Tennessee, right? So nothing done there in the past couple of years has been conventional. So why would this be any different? And moving forward, we'll see what comes of it. And who knows, it's either going to be a good thing or a bad thing. And it is what it is. Like we said, it's you don't know which way they're looking at it because sanctions and things are going to be brought down on them. So are they looking to bring in somebody who can just maneuver the ship until they can really kind of refuel and get going when all these sanctions get away? And then reward that guy for being there through these times? Which way are they looking to go? I think it's going to be difficult to get athletes there now, knowing you're not going to be in a bowl game for probably 2-3 years. You're probably not going to have as many scholarships for the next couple of years. Is somebody willing to go in there and kind of, like I said, work through all of this, and then ultimately when all that stuff comes off, here we go.
It's an interesting decision. I think a lot of it has to do with, and correct me if you think, tell me if you think I'm right, recruiting, like stability for recruiting, right? So we're getting to the end of the second signing period, or I guess it's a regular signing period now, but it's really
because it's signing day. The other one is early signing day.
The other one is the main signing period now, which everyone said was going to happen. And
I think you and I know it the best is that you see for the most part, the head coach is just the figurehead, right? The assistant coaches are the ones that develop the relationships with the recruits. So some of these recruits, just in general,
I don't agree with that at all. You mean in college?
Yeah, you think that Nick Saban has more of a relationship with his recruits than the assistant coach?
Nick Saban has some relationship with them. I'm not. He the head coach at some places they have much more. Now the assistant and the assistant, whoever's recruiting that area, definitely is going to have more time with them. Yes, I agree with that 100%.
Right, and that's what we're getting to. My point is that when these assistants leave and go elsewhere.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I'm saying as far as look,
I agree.
Like when now you're and we've seen firsthand situations like this happens when, say an assistant coach gets fired at one school, all of a sudden he's at another, and before you know it, a guy that used to be on that board at the other school is now got a full scholarship for that guy when he's moved to his new school. So I think, like you said, stability within the coaching ranks, allows recruiting to kind of flow a little better or give them the opportunity with those individuals or those players because those relationships have been made. And ultimately, look, some of these kids, like I said, they're following coaches or whatever. Like the school is just a name, and if you can sell him on you or the other stuff, maybe they come for you, who knows? But like you said, it's a stability factor 100%.
Very interesting. And definitely a salvation move.
Yeah, like let's savor something.
Yeah, no doubt. That's really I find that interesting, is especially if I have to feel like Kevin Steele is in the mix.
Gotta be 100%. How could you not? Really?
Yeah, I mean he's got to be. Now you mentioned Gus Malzahn, right? Hugh Freeze. You mentioned Hugh Freeze. I don't know if you mentioned Gus Malzahn, but I just read, I think, Gus Malzahn, Hugh Freeze. And what was the third one? There was a third.
Jason Witten.
Well, no, I didn't see. But I didn't see that. You mentioned that.
You saw the actual. What was the other? You're right. There was another name.
There was another name. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Another name. There was a 100% other name that went down with that whole thing.
That was like kind of a big name
and
too,
right? Yes. Well, listen, the Hugh Freeze is always interesting in the fact that, obviously he was at Ole Miss, and then, got in trouble, went underground for a couple years at Liberty, has built that program up big time to successful. So obviously, people are looking at him like, hey, he's done it once here. And by here, I mean the SEC. He can do it again. So, I think we have to throw his name in the mix, So, yeah, I think that's something that's there. Like I said, it's just a different – second chances are definitely warranted in the SEC. I'll tell you that much. Oh, Tom Herman, the other one.
Oh, yeah, that's – yeah. You mentioned that yesterday too. Yeah. That's
$15 million on the couch or Tennessee?
Of those three, which one do you like best if you had to choose?
I think it's interesting to look at it because you're looking at two of those candidates, right? We're talking Gus Malzahn and Tom Herman, who one will get $21 million, the other's going to get $15 million to sit on the couch if they want, right? So you're also looking at two guys that are obviously competitors, obviously want to do things, and obviously want to continue their careers. I almost look at it. I think the guy who would jump on it right away if it's offered would be Hugh Freeze. Because I know he's at a program. He's the only one that wasn't fired. He's at a smaller program looking to get back into that SEC role and go. So I think he would jump on it if offered right away. Gus Malzahn, I think, is going to have a ton of opportunities. I think all over. And I mean, all these guys will have tons of opportunities, right? I think Gus Malzahn's the oldest, right? So maybe that plays a factor into him. To be honest, I think the move would be Tom Herman. I think that would be the best move. I think he's just young enough with enough knowledge that he can handle the sanctions and what's going to come. I think he's going to recruit better than the other two because of his ties to Texas, but also his ties to Ohio State up that way. So I think he can grab a little bit from those areas itself, whereas I think Gus and Hugh are more Southern boys, just based off of where they've come from. So I think Tom Herman can add a different element there. And I also think that he's a guy, like I said, it's got to be someone who's going to be able to deal with the pressures. And I know Gus Malzahn dealt with it at Auburn, but Tom Herman's dealt with it at Ohio State and Texas. Not to mention when he was the head coach at Houston for a while. So, he's got it. He can handle that aspect. I think he would be the best move for this program at this time.
I like Tom Herman.
I do too.
I like
I also think he's got he's got more so of that personality that Tennessee needs right now. To me, those other guys, you look at Gus Malzahn, and I think of a wizard, right? I look at Hugh Freeze, kind of a smaller guy in stature, just that type of, that's the look he gets. Tom Herman, when you look at him, I'm talking, I'm thinking strictly business. Like, hey, let's go, in your face type of CEO guy. To me, on the outside, when you're talking persona, picture, you know what I'm saying? Tom Herman fits the mold the best. Especially a program that's kind of been all over the place. And you know what I mean? I just think they need somebody to come in there with a hammer and be like, look, bam, this is how we're doing things. You know, you look at the guys that have been there that haven't done well, you know, Dooley. I mean, even going back to Kiffin, you know, these are all different. These are all character guys in my book. You know, this guy's not. I don't think that guy.
Jeremy Pruitt's style, although I didn't, you know, you didn't really see it. I guess apparently was right
now he gives off that a little bit more. You know, I just don't know. I'm just thinking, you think Tom Herman with the goatee and the hat and the sunglasses and, you know, like one of these guys, you know what I mean? There's something about a look to him that tells me that's what that program needs. I could be completely wrong. I'm just talking image-wise.
Right.
And then again, I don't really know if anybody looks tough in that orange or whatever the hell color it is, creamsicle. You got to do something very different to look tough in that. You know what I'm saying? Like Dabo's pulled it off with the purple in Clemson, but I don't know. There's something about that creamsicle color, man. It's
when you win, you're tough in anything.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Ultimate line, right? Like winning cures and heals. There's no issues when you win. So that's just how it is. Chris, Mark Rick has been living in I believe he's down south kind of hanging out after he's had a heart attack once or twice. I think the game has passed him by. You remember Mark Rick from Georgia and was ultimately at Miami?
Yeah, what about him?
He's just, you know, Chris said, whatever happened to Mark Rick? I say, yeah, he's kind of been hanging out since he had a heart attack and just doing his thing. I know he had daughters that
had a heart attack?
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
Oh.
Must be coaching. I'm waiting for mine, I guess.
You're waiting for your well, you know, as long as you work out. Well, you're not working out, so I don't know. If you are working out.
Yeah, buddy. I rode for 45 minutes on the bike today.
Okay. All right.
Oh, God. I love that.
All right.
He's been in way more sports movies than we all think.
What's that?
He's been in way more sports movies than we think.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
He's in that betting movie, too, with Al Pacino. Have you ever seen it? I think it's called Win by the Two of Us or something like that, where he's like this, you know, he was a college football pro star and then blew out his knee and then he goes into basically being a bookie, and it's a pretty good movie. I forget the name. I gotta find it. It's Matthew McConaughey and
I liked him in the movie when he was young. His first big one when he's in Mississippi and
what about Angels in the Outfield?
Time to Kill, was it?
Angels in the Outfield?
I don't remember Angels in the Outfield.
He was in the Disney movie. He was an outfielder.
Really?
Yeah.
Much about that.
Two for the Money, it's called.
Two for the Money. I think I do remember that.
It's legit.
I think I saw it.
It's good, dude. It's good. And then he plays that great. I mean, he plays We Are Marshall, phenomenal.
We Are Marshall was great. I have to do.
And he's diehard Texas.
Oh yeah, big Texas fan.
Big.
All right. So a couple of so Marshall has had a not one of our usual talk, but a huge shakeup.
Alabama
apparently.
Guy.
Yep. Charles Huff, right? Now
quarterback coach?
Is he the quarterback coach this year there? Or?
I believe he was. That was his. I believe that's what he was. Charles Huff making changes. Let's see.
Strength coach and
yeah, but not the main strength coach, I don't think. Like, I don't think he's taking Alabama's strength coach.
No, he's taking Stanford's strength coach.
Alabama. I'm sorry. That must be. I read that somewhere else.
Not Stan, but Sam.
No,
Sanford.
Yep. SAM.
FCS. I think they're at FCS Power. So he was a QB coach at Alabama. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I am. I'm almost 100% sure. There's so many of these little changes now going on. That's, you know what I mean? Like it's
So
there's guys flying. There's guys flying all over. Where is it? I mean, and all along we're sitting here, and LSU has no defensive coordinator.
Who has no defensive coordinator? Oh, LSU.
LSU.
Interesting. I wonder if you heard me delete some trash from my computer. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I think that one's an interesting one. And I think it's really interesting how Alabama and the cachet is so wide and vast that they're just clamoring to get guys from the Nick Saban coaching tree. And I'll tell you what it's so interesting because what I find about college football, I guess, is that like it's a lot easier to take someone that they perceive to be kind of like a disciple of a tremendous leader and assume, and you see this in the what? And you see this at the end. And you see this at yeah. Go ahead.
You're gonna have to hit the drop button.
Oh, all right. Well, you see this at the end. What I was saying is, you see this at you see this at the NFL as well. You know what I mean? Like with where they're going to the best guy and they're trying to take as many as the best guys as possible. Well, yeah. So I'll head to the drop.
Here's my thing, right? And this is from somebody who's bounced around a couple times to a couple places, And when I've gone to certain places, it's because somebody has gotten the head coaching job most times, and they want their people around them. They want to take who they're familiar with or who they feel is the best fit for that position. What I'm
talking about is when they not when they take the assistant. I'm saying
right. That's what I get it. Like when you leave and you take guys with you, right? Like that's what you're saying. Say like
no. What I'm saying is when I go to hire a head coach, I go right to outside of hiring another guy who was a head coach somewhere. Outside of that, I go right to the de facto best program
and just take anybody that's
as many of those
like one of those guys. Alabama, right? One of those guys. Who's the receivers coach at Alabama? All right, I'll go take him. But I'll go back and say and it was a quote that I will, like the James Franklin at Penn State. Okay, he said I never hire anybody who I haven't directly worked with or somebody that I truly trust.
Yeah, you're talking about assistants. I'm talking about guys they hire for head coaches that was an assistant.
Oh, yeah, they just look, okay, this guy's at Alabama. I'm sure he could be a head coach. Come on in, buddy. You see that, like you said, you see it with the NFL a lot. Like, oh, this guy's worked here. Okay. Like
Belichick.
Look at all of those guys.
That's a big theme now. I'm saying maybe even like it's always been a theme. It always should be a theme.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Weiss, Romeo Cornell.
I feel like it's with Nick Saban. It's even more of a.
We did it the other day when we were looking at them in the national championship and who the coordinators were. There's never been the same coordinator like 2 years in a row for Bama. And you look at why. It's because these guys are going to get head coaching jobs.
Yeah, so I just find it really interesting. Okay, we ready? We got
some hot news. Breaking news.
Football and the kitchen sink.
All right, good.
New Jersey native, former Rutgers player, St. Peter's prep coach, gone on to be University of Buffalo GA, has accepted a full-time running back coaching job at UMass. Saban Huggins.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Obviously that's great news, but I thought you were going to say something completely different. So.
I know. That's probably about 3 times I've done that deal.
I don't think that's what you use the drop button for. I'll be fair. I'm very happy for Saban. He's a great guy, but I don't think you use the drop button for that.
How about Antonio
for like Kevin Steele is the new head coach of Tennessee? That's what we
Antonio Pierce named defensive coordinator at Arizona State.
I'll give you a half drop for that.
That's funny.
Obviously,
I think it's funny.
That's pretty big news because a couple of years ago he was head coach in high school. So yeah, that's pretty big news. He was what was the school again? What was the school again that he was the head coach at?
Who? Long Beach Poly.
Long Beach Poly. That's right. Yep, that's pretty cool. See, he's moved up fast.
But how did he? He took that way as far as I'm going to establish myself as a head coach, and then like an Augie, like a Nunzio.
Yeah. There's 2 ways you could do it. You could be established head coach, and
or you could just be Dion. But even Dion was a head coach.
I took obviously. If you follow the show, you would realize I'm obsessed with Dion's little YouTube things with Jackson State. I find it very interesting. So
I love that he does a podcast too with Barstool.
Oh yeah, he's got a great podcast with Barstool. But I admit that
that's the hookup right now.
I admit that I find him like intriguing because it's a little bit of it's a place that I would not have thought that he would have gone to try and launch kind of his college coaching career. And
but did you ever think he would have gone to a place where he wouldn't be the spotlight?
Well, because he didn't play there. And there's no direct allegiance. I guess that's the best and to go to an FCS school. But so anyway, my point on that is that I find it really interesting his path, not just his path of how he approaches the job, and it's obviously it's Dion style, but the way that he approaches it, I find he approaches head coach in college at least right now as someone who is not just a recruiter for the program, which he is. He's recruiting great, but he is literally a promoter of the program. And I don't just mean a promoter meaning like I represent the program well. I mean a promoter of the program. I think part of what he believes is that the more you utilize the tools that are out there, and this is why I find it interesting, okay? And he's pretty real on it too, I think. But go beyond that. The more you utilize the tools that are now available, okay, to promote your program as much as possible, the more recruits it, and this is his kind of belief, I think. I mean, I'm not like I'm putting words in his mouth, but I'm just going off of what I see. That it will create an interest level with prospects. And you know what? Like, I'm interested. I'm not even a prospect, right? So if you're a high school kid and you're seeing it, do you say to yourself, I know it's FCS, and their league itself has not had as good a competition as the other top tier FCS programs, but Dion's putting us on the map, and our program's going to be out there. And basically, what Dion's saying is, "Hey, man, if you're good enough, I'll get you there. Don't worry if the competition is not quote unquote quite as good." Okay.
Have I would love to see
I think it's really interesting. I mean, I find it so fascinating. I find it fascinating.
I'd love to see their admission rates as far as
regular
how many kids now are coming. Yo, I'm going to Jackson State because our head coach is Dion. I'm not saying
I agree with you.
That's a deciding factor, but I'm just saying. Look, not as the only thing.
I think it's a factor.
It's going to make me lean one way.
Well, I think especially at the HBCUs where they haven't the investment in the HBCUs hasn't been what it was before integration came. Okay, so the HBCUs now you see, like, I think someone like Dion can inject a level of excitement. At least now it starts with Jackson State, but
you're getting who knows what else happens.
I think it's interesting. I think it's like
you're just bringing, even just by him being there, you're putting the HB, those schools in the limelight again, where now people become more aware, and here we go.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, he's obviously a fascinating individual as well. Not just maybe one of the best corners of all time, but a fascinating individual. And like he talks about, like he even though his style is not like you would you wouldn't see with a lot of I think he's definitely very smart, but
he is smart.
But I think that even though his style is different than normal, like I don't even want to say normal because what's normal, but a lot of the coaches, he kind of almost releases that burden off of himself. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? This he beats to his own drum.
He beats to his own drum, and he doesn't he's going to do it the way that he knows how to do it.
He doesn't allow outside factors.
Yeah, I love it.
To deter his vision.
Don't tell he's not. Yeah, exactly. And now obviously results will be the end game on this.
Correct.
But that's what we said again in college, though, a big part of it. Now I don't know how this year will go, but a big part of it in the next couple of years is if you get better recruits than the other people,
you're just going to win more games.
You're going to win games
by default.
But by default, so the rest of it doesn't matter as much if you get all the recruits. But I just find it interesting how he's approaching it.
It's his leadership style. He's doing this. This is in an unprecedented year where things have just been whatever. He's doing things in an unprecedented way.
What's this about? What's Chris? Chris said what? Oh, I missed it. That was 20 minutes ago. What was that Chris was talking about?
Yeah, he was just talking about whatever happened to Mark Richt, and then he's talking about, I guess, Florida State, Bowden days as a DC, I guess, back at FSU, I guess. Joe John Finley.
Oh, he was. FSU. Mark Richt was the DC back in the day.
Under Bowden, right before he got his shot at Georgia.
He was an Florida State guy from that tree.
Ugh, that's horrible.
Joe John Finley. Do I know who that is?
I don't either. Just like like you say, Dion. I hope good things happen, and I hope in 2-3 years, hopefully he gets a nice payday to go up to Tallahassee and play Florida State, and I hope he beats them. And then the next year takes over as the head coach. I think that would be a great story. But it's good. I like it. And like you said, I got to watch those videos because obviously you've drank the Kool-Aid and you're all in. I would be surprised if you have a Jackson State shirt within the next couple weeks.
I'm going to get me a Jackson State shirt, definitely.
What are they? The Jackson State what?
I don't know. I just see JSU everywhere.
Right. But
did you see Kevin Steele's pay? It's interesting what they did with his structured his pay.
Well, I saw that article. I didn't read it though. So tell me about it because I know they did something in regards to how they're going to pay him as the quote unquote interim right now.
First of all, they call him the Vols active coach. I don't even know what that exactly means.
He's the interim, man.
Okay, so Steele will get a base salary of $275,000 with an additional $175,000, and then obviously which goal it's on the hook.
It's kind of on par with it's kind of on par with that what I get.
Well, they're on the hook. Well, the school's still on. Auburn still has a buyout of $5 million, so they're paying them.
Made myself laugh.
Hey, what's that?
I mean, these guys getting paid this stuff as an interim coach. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, well, sorry, buddy, but that's kind of how it is.
Alabama has confirmed that Doug Marrone will be the next offensive line coach. So you got 2 former NFL head coaches on staff.
Right on. Where's this?
Alabama. So the Nick Saban post head coach refuge continues.
Yo. Interesting.
The Lions have fired Dan Campbell.
They fired Dan Campbell.
Hired.
I thought they hired Dan Campbell.
Hired Dan Campbell.
Right.
It's the Lions, man.
I don't even know. I don't even know who that
a couple
is.
years ago he was you don't know anything about him, you said?
Nothing.
I mean, do you remember him at all? No. Well, I know he was the interim head coach for the Dolphins a couple years ago when they got rid of, I believe, might have been Feldman. At one point, he's a big, he used to play NFL. He used to play tight end in the NFL. Huge players coach. A lot of the guys really like him. Most recently, I do not know where he was. I'd have to look it up. But I do know it's a 6-year deal. And the Lions got their guy. So good luck in Detroit, man.
Patrick Mahomes looks like he's going to be back.
Listen, and look, you can say whatever, but I'm just telling you right now, before he got that concussion, he's got turf toe, bro.
Okay.
He had you could tell the entire game he was, you know what I mean? Like he was laboring on that foot to begin with. So that's going to be an issue. Now he's got look, a concussion is whatever. All it's going to take is one little baby shot for him to, look, did you see the play where it happened? It wasn't a vicious hit by any means, but when he got up or attempted to get up, that was a little scary looking. He was kind of doing the boxing match fighter style, like wobbling to the corner type of thing. I don't know if you saw it, but it definitely was a little spooky. But hey, if he's good to go, he's good to go, and let's see what happens. There's no way. I don't see. There's no way he's not playing in my eyes. No way. Not happening. It's Patrick Mahomes, MVP of the league. Like, he's
right.
not playing, concussion or not. There's going to be some way, shape, or form they're going to get around concussion protocol, and he's going to go dial it up. Me, I would be more concerned about the foot because I've dealt with turf toe, and it sucks. Everything about it sucks. You can't plant. You can't do this. Just think about whenever you stub your toe or you're walking around, something with a toe hurts, and especially your big toe, which controls all of your balance. And it's on his plant leg. It's where he's going to get his whip. Not that he doesn't have a strong arm to throw off whatever foot, but I'm just saying, stepping in, you could see it in the game. He underthrew some passes that should have been easy completions because he couldn't plant off of that foot.
So maybe that gives him some time to maybe gives him some time to heal that up too.
Gives him some time. What, this week? Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't see him doing anything. You know what I mean? Other than a mental walkthrough. You know how these guys look, and we don't know how. I would love to see that too because I've never seen it. I'm sure it's easy to get, but I would love to see an NFL practice schedule for a week. Because obviously, look, we play Friday nights, we do this, you do that. I would love to see how they work. They play Sundays. Some guys do you get off on Monday? Is it back? What do you do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? When do you travel? I'd love to see the itinerary or the layout for a week of practice in the NFL.
Yeah, no, definitely. I got to bring up something slightly different that I find interesting.
I know, because you've been focused on it and not really hearing anything I was saying.
I heard everything you said.
You heard it, but were you listening?
I was listening.
You're
What do you want to quiz me on?
Oh no! Oh, here we go. This is like, what is that? When in White Man Can't Jump, when you can't hear Jimmy. You may listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy. And wasn't his drummer white? Oh!
That was a good movie.
Underrated sports movie, by the way. I don't know if it's considered. It should be considered what sports movie, right?
Yeah, because there were some parts to it that was
It's just
really good. What about me? Oh, okay. I don't know.
You want to talk about DeVito?
So I find this interesting. So I like just clicking on Twitter of like sports, right? So this is what comes up in like other sports. This is either how you know it's a slow day, or are they trying to like move this to me? Must be because it's slow. The lead story is India versus Australia cricket. Okay, which I don't know much about.
The only reason I know about it is because I watched that movie about the two kids from India that became major league pitchers.
That was a good movie, by the way. Very good movie.
Golden Arm?
Very good movie. I enjoyed that movie.
True story.
Then they got Premier League Soccer. Okay.
That's always big.
Yeah, but is anybody in America? Then there's something about Pele. Then underneath that, then finally after 5 or 6 of those, then it has, this is an important one. And we didn't discuss it yet. Phillip Rivers retired.
Yep, I stated it in our. I brought it up in our pseudo, intro. 17 seasons, man. 16 of them with the Chargers, 1 with the Colts. 9 kids later.
He's a breeder.
The man does not swear.
9 kids.
The man does not swear.
Oh, he's the man of God. Yeah, of course.
So if you read his letter to the NFL, doggone it, and if you, I just like watching him mic'd up because he's never stops talking. Never stops talking the entire game. Just referees, sidelines, players, like golly gee, he's just so animated, and he's I'll always, in my eyes, look, great player. He's going to be remembered for always being good, but never getting there.
He for what? Never getting there?
Just never.
He was very good. He didn't have a lot always around him either.
Tomlinson, Antonio Gates.
That's close a few times, but
yeah, I mean, he was, back in, he was always. Look, they were always there. They always get to the playoffs. They just never. You know what I mean? I'll remember him most probably for his awkward throwing motion.
Well, he's 6,000 feet in the air in height.
What college?
North Carolina State, if I'm not mistaken.
The Wolf Pack. Yes, sir.
I'm right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I listen. All right. Let's see if you can stump me. Let's see if you can stump me. I'd like to know.
I'll give you one here. What other current starting current NFC team starting quarterback played at North Carolina State? Maybe didn't finish there.
Glennon.
No.
Yeah, he played at North Carolina State. Oh, starting quarterback.
Starting. Yes, he did. You're right.
Starting quarterback.
Talk about somebody who's traveled all over.
Russell Wilson.
Right. And where did he finish?
Wisconsin. You can't get me on college sports.
I'm saying I can.
College football.
Listen, I'm okay not winning. All right. I'm okay with you. You're the best.
No.
Did you notice? Look at this.
Pro. You can get me a pro. Because I'm probably pretty good with the 80s, 90s, and maybe 2000s, but maybe the newer guys.
I thought you were actually going to notice enough to see that I put on a color today that I can't stand, but I figured I'd try something different for 2021. I'm actually wearing color, and it's blue, and I feel really weird. I'm not going to lie.
That was good. You look good in blue.
It's just blue. I don't know. I
just wear gray.
So what do you think? Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame?
$17 years.
A hell of a lot of, and I think he has. I think he has a really long streak of games. I think you know what I mean.
Right.
like an Iron Man type of thing. Him and Eli, bro, those guys just played. I mean, think about it. Him, Eli, and Roethlisberger, those guys have been staples since what draft was that? 2000 something? Like those three names have been playing football every year for as long as I can remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he gets in.
I think he's in, maybe not a first ballot.
No, he's not a first balloter. I think
better than Eli?
If I play D2, can I still play in NFL?
Yeah.
If good enough, yeah, absolutely.
If you're asking, I don't know though. Is Phillip Rivers better than Eli?
I heard somebody ask this question today, I think.
This has been the talk pretty much all day.
Is he better as far as what? Pure pass? Were they
career-wise?
Yeah. He could have went to Indianapolis, right? Not Indianapolis. I mean, he could have.
If they switched teams, I think.
Right. Did he have a better career than Eli? Statistically, he probably does.
Eli had way better talent around him.
Does Rivers
put Phillip Rivers on those giant teams? He wins the Super Bowl. More Super Bowls.
I don't know if I agree with that.
That's why we do this.
I think on a day-to-day basis, Phillip Rivers is better. I thought Eli, when needed in a clutch situation,
that's Eli's claim to fame.
Now,
Eli will have. That's what they said. That was the comparison.
His talent level. Now look, you're scraping like they're elite talents, obviously. So at Phillip Rivers' maximal point as far as talent might be higher than Eli.
Definitely.
He's bigger. He's probably a little bit stronger, but like a little bit.
Yeah. He's probably faster.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, physical talent. And I think, like, if you were to say, "Hey, would Phillip Rivers have maybe won you more games?" Maybe he would have.
Definitely. But would he have won
you a championship?
Right.
Because you still had to go through the Patriots.
Eli played clutch.
In very tight situations, he seemed to figure it out. Now, when his ability, when Eli lost like some of his skills, it like was going off a cliff because he didn't start as high as Phillip Rivers, and he doesn't have the size of Phillip Rivers.
Right.
So when you have size, like one of the things that.
Although Eli is big. I've met him. He's tall.
He's big. He's 6 foot.
But he's lean.
No, he's big. He's big.
When I met him, he was.
I'm saying big. Like isn't Phillip Rivers like 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, I think so.
So is Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger's a freaking dude.
So is Brady. So is Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Okay. They're so big that. For when they have so much size to get behind their throw, you know what I'm saying? There's more size to get behind your throw. So when your overall arms when things start to diminish, you can make up for a lot because you're so big in your body. You're using your body. You should be using your body anyway, but your body's so big that as your arm strength starts to diminish, it's less of a drop off of somebody that's not as big. And I'll give another great example. And his arm lasted for an.
How about this? Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, all 6'5".
Oh, so Eli Manning's 6'5". So you just blew up my whole entire thing. So my thing.
Sorry, I apologize, but
I'm wrong. So
what other names do you have in there? Though?
That's more of a talent. So that's more of a. Then I would say it's more of a ceiling. Then what is your ceiling? And then do you fall off more of the cliff from what your ceiling is?
How tall you think Peyton Manning is?
6'5".
6'5". Who was the other one? Tombo?
My theory is that if you have more body, that you could last longer.
Tom 6'4".
Now Breeze has lasted a long time.
That was what I want to move to next. Here's my next thing. If Drew Brees is the Chargers quarterback, do they win more games than Phillip Rivers?
Yeah, I think Drew Brees anywhere is winning more games. I think Drew Brees is one of the top.
So
our top list of QBs, wasn't he?
Hang on. Listen, I'm gonna do one right now.
That'd be top 10.
I'm gonna give you names.
Sure my top 10 would change again.
I'm gonna give you names
because I didn't write it down, so I can't memorize it. I can't memorize things in that capacity.
What do we have? Okay, so here. Give me these names. I'll give you these. I'm giving you these names.
All right.
Rank them. Okay. You got 6 quarterbacks.
Okay. I'm listening.
Tom Brady.
Okay.
Eli Manning. Ben Roethlisberger. Phillip Rivers. Drew Brees. Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. Those are 1, 2, 3.
Tom Brady, Manning, Brees are your top 3.
Then who are the last 3?
Tom Brady's gone. Drew Brees gone. So then you have Eli, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger.
Eli, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm with you, except I flip-flop 1 and 2.
I would say Ben.
I put, or is there?
I would take. Who would I take? I would take Ben Roethlisberger, then Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers is last.
Wait, so you're changing yours?
I said 4th is Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you went the other. I didn't. Okay.
Eli Manning.
We got totally different.
6 is Phillip Rivers.
See, I'm going Peyton Manning, Brady, Brees, Eli, Rivers, Roethlisberger.
What's your rationale as why Peyton Manning's ahead of
to me, Peyton Manning just, I know everybody says for Brady it's an it factor and all of that, but I think the same thing for Peyton. I think the way he prepared, his knowledge of the game, just his overall accuracy and placement. And this is what I base that off of, right? I bet if you went back and you looked at Peyton Manning and looked at the guys who were his inside receiver every single year, right? How many of those guys careers ended with concussions because Peyton would put that ball in such a spot as far as between a safety and a linebacker that they just had to go up and make that perfect catch and get smashed for it. His accuracy and his knowledge of the game ultimately is what, for me, puts Peyton above Tom Brady. Now, obviously, look, he's still doing it. I don't know. I think Brady.
I was always of the belief that Peyton Manning was number 1 and Tom Brady was number 2. Until Tom Brady won that many more Super Bowls that I just said, anybody who wins that many Super Bowls is the best quarterback. I don't care.
If Peyton had Tony Dungy as long as Brady had Belichick,
I don't agree with that.
I think Belichick's the X factor in the whole thing.
I think he's an X factor.
I don't think Tom Brady is even close to who he is without Belichick.
I agree and disagree at the same time. What do I mean? I mean that, yes, Belichick is an excellent coach, okay, and did some unique things with Tom Brady. But I believe that Tom Brady was special beyond anything that we'll ever comprehend, and you may never see you may never see anything like it again.
Look, I think we are spoiled. We have seen. I've known nothing other than phenomenal, amazing quarterback play, and I think others can say that as well. But my era has been the era of the quarterback.
Well, I think it's only going to continue to be that way.
Correct, because of the way the game is now. You know, but like you look back at some of these eras and era of the running back, like we'll never see running backs like there used to be. Absolutely not. You're never going to see a Walter Payton, a Barry Sanders, and you're never going to see those guys.
You're seeing them. You're just not going to see them put up numbers over that length of time because the game, they're not giving them
Tony
the ball.
Dorsett's, those types of guys. You're not going to see that stuff.
Not too many people are carrying a ball 400 times in a game.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying quarterbacks now are on a whole nother level. And I think it started with Dan Marino, Jim Kelly. Those guys were the transition to what we see now. And now you have guys like Mahomes that are slinging it around. But, will the Lamar Jackson type guy ultimately take over and that becomes the guy? Well, because I'm looking at the number one pick, and what does he do? He's going to sling it.
The perfect world is this. Perfect world is Lamar Jackson's speed and athleticism,
of course,
combined with Tom Brady's height, size, and passing skills. So, that's one day someone will come along that will have both, but not until that day will someone eclipse Tom Brady. Because
not until Mo Lewis knocks out Drew Bledsoe.
Mo Lewis knocks out Drew Bledsoe?
Which gave Tom Brady his start. Otherwise, he's riding the bench for the rest of his life.
Yeah, although I do believe the cream rises to the top.
You thought he was the cream as a 6th-round draft pick and never basically being the starter at Michigan?
I'm saying at some point he would have got an opportunity, and then it would have.
But would it have been the right opportunity?
I don't think he had to have the right opportunity. I just think he need to have an.
Is Tom Brady sweet and low, sugar, Splenda, or extra?
I don't know what any of that means.
There's sweeteners. The little colored sweeteners on the table?
Which one's the best?
I don't know. It all depends on what you like. I'm a Splenda guy.
I just like sugar. I like sugar.
You like pure sugar?
Yes. I don't like the other crap.
You don't like anything artificial?
No.
It's got to be real for you?
Well, there's some things that I don't that are okay if they're artificial. I can handle.
How about this? This I think on the same, moving forward, Eagles' job. Okay. Yesterday we talked about it being whose for the loss, really, kind of like it's theirs to lose basically if they don't want it. Josh McDaniels, correct?
Right.
The other name that I'm hearing that it's down to basically Josh McDaniels and Deuce Staley.
Deuce Staley a few years ago, I thought he was going to be the guy there. They didn't give it to him.
And then they hired Peterson.
Correct. I don't know. Is there a position? Are they leaning a certain way, or?
I would think they're leaning towards McDaniels, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because was Deuce Staley on Peterson's staff?
He's been there through all of this. I mean, he's been there since he stopped being a player.
So that's
he got a lot bigger.
That could work against him.
Correct.
Because I was going to say,
sometimes being on those stats. Pull this up. I want you to pull this up. Let's search this because today an article came out that I believe it was Zach Thomas and another player on that team both wanted to physically fight Nick Saban when he was the head coach. Pull it up because I came out today. I didn't get to read it. I just saw the headline and I thought it was hilarious.
Let me pull that. Do you have it, or what do I need?
No, I just search it because I'm sure it'll come up because I saw it.
Search Nick Saban and Zach Thomas.
It's like Zach Thomas fight Nick Saban, something like that. It should pop up.
Let's see.
I saw it twice, actually 3 times today. It popped up and I didn't read it. The third time I was like, dude, I got to read this.
Let me see here. All right. Dante Culpepper.
Yes, that's it. That's it. It was, dude, Dante Culpepper. What college?
Oh, we got to pull this up. This is interesting.
What college?
Dante Culpepper, Central Florida. I'm telling you, you'd have to.
I'm not doing Zach Thomas because we talked about it the other day.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying you'd have to go to more obscure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think I'm the same way. I think my knowledge of where people went to college, I think, is way better than anything else.
Yeah, like now, if a guy went to like a D2 school and made
I wouldn't know.
That's probably the best
Unless
bet.
it was like a Pierre Garcon or something.
Like I didn't know, and like yeah. Like I didn't know the guy
who picked walking into your living room with your nice fireplace.
Yes, would you like to come into
Oh, coach's bonuses came in for the season.
Man, no, I wish that was the case. That'd be nice.
Oh, I like your background.
You like my background?
Hey, Troy, you like your new living room? You got some. Troy, go grab one of those pine cones off the table. Oh,
what is that? Cheez-Its? Are those Cheez-Its?
No, is it trail mix? It looks like Chex Mix.
It's got Cheez-Its.
Oh, why do all kids love Cheez-Its? Because it's cheese?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. It's cheese.
I could crush cheese too.
Cheese on everything. Hi, Troy.
Careful, don't fall.
Try not to bang it to the kitchen, the back.
Troy, don't trip on the mantle.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Be careful.
Daddy.
Troy, go grab me a book.
Yeah, see that book over
right here. Here's your shelf, Troy. Right.
Can you run over there?
There it is. Troy, go grab a book off the shelf.
Right.
At least we can entertain ourselves.
Daddy.
What?
And every time you on the podcast, will be a different background.
I can make it a different background, but
he can, Troy. He can.
Yeah, you like this background? It looks like we could go sit on the couch over there. Actually, we have 2 couches. It's better than our living room.
We do, and a nice table in the middle there. You got a nice mantle,
it's like a Texas house right here. This looks like one of those Texas houses you can get for $300,000. I'm selling it. I'm not.
And it's one of those houses that you're the only one that's ever lived in it because it was just built.
Just built like yesterday.
Got it.
All right, let's go to this. Hold on. Yeah.
Listen, did you see? Speaking of that, did you see what I posted today?
No.
On Twitter, there was a job for a special teams coordinator in Texas at a school that's like 40 miles outside Houston. That was the starting salary is $70,000.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that actually. That was on
Football Scoop.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were posting it. They were like, wait, special teams coordinator with 0 experience for $70,000? Sign me up.
It's like, what?
Oh, there it is. Look at Nick Saban and Young in his heyday. Look at that.
All right, let's read this real quick.
Look, I don't know what it is. I just thought it was funny.
Nick Saban's 2-year stint in NFL as head coach of Miami was without question for God. All right, let's get to the good part. Come on. Saban got a bit of a bad rap for leaving Miami for Tuscaloosa as he kept his – first of all, he made the right move. He handled it wrong.
They crucified him for that, remember?
Yeah, they'll never forget. They'll never remember it, though. As he kept his interest in the job on the Raps. They remember it the same way that they remember Lou Holtz coached in the NFL for a brief time period. But it turns out –
Or the fact that Bill Belichick was the head coach of the Jets twice.
Yes, but it turns out that he may have had good reason to leave so abruptly. According to Jake Laser, I don't know how Jay Glazer finds this stuff out, but he does.
He always finds out this obscure stuff.
Dante Culpepper and
who's a big man.
And Zach Thomas both physically wanted to fight Saban during his time in Miami. Quote, Nick Saban. Oh, I want to hear what JJ said to a play this. Nick Saban, why he didn't make it to the NFL. Dante Culpepper tried to fight him one day, and a security guard stepped in. Glazer explained on the Herd on Wednesday. I think the final straw was they questioned Zach Thomas's toughness.
What?
And Zach almost kicked his butt. That just doesn't work on this level.
Of all the people you're going to question?
Yeah, that's
really?
It's actually comical.
It's not like he wasn't like an established middle linebacker at the time, up and coming. He was.
And look, one thing I talked, and Jimmy Johnson said on our show the other day, it is so different in the NFL than college. And part of it is you can't just forever pull someone's scholarship, but you're dealing with 53 different corporations inside that locker room. Not 53 men, but 53 different corporations. But I also said, hey, man, the way you talk to these guys, you've got to talk to them differently now than you did in college. And, go after how Pete Carroll did it. You got to love these guys. You got to treat them like men. The reason why Bobby Petrino, Nick Saban, they didn't work out. They almost got their butts kicked because they didn't treat them like men. I mean, Nick Saban, the reason why he didn't make it in the NFL, Dante Culpepper tried to fight him one day, and the security guy stepped in. And then I think his final straw is that he questioned Zach Thomas's toughness. And Zach almost kicked his butt. It just doesn't work on this level. And I know Urban's not one of those guys who kind of goes after you, tries to demean you. But I said, just make sure you don't do any of that on this level because it doesn't work on this level. You're dealing with grown men who are a corporation, but also it's different how they act than they do in college. When you go and say something like that to Zach Thomas, good chance that you're going to end up on the ground.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty.
Which is true, right? I mean, like you said, you're
piano,
not.
Troy.
Oh,
What a piano!
I didn't know you had a piano.
You didn't even know, Troy.
Troy, can you go play the
play the piano? Thank you, Troy.
Oh, are you kidding me? You got a piano. There's a piano.
If this was our house, I wouldn't be doing podcasts. I'd be sitting on this
Troy,
couch. Right,
you got
I'd be right on that couch right there with my head on that pillow.
And you would be watching TV too.
I'd be eating with my fire.
It looks like through your little window is another office area over here.
Where my fire? Look at my fireplace too.
No, I mean, is this like what's out here? Is this the lanai? Like what's out there?
I think that's my office over there.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Then,
who plays the piano? Troy, are you taking lessons?
I don't use that often. Troy's piano. Troy, who's your piano teacher?
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have one yet?
I think it's Madame Zouzette.
Mozart. We have Mozart come and teach piano.
Ray Charles is coming.
Neither of those guys are still around. Look at my fruit basket. Right
I don't
there.
know. Is that fruit or pine cones for luck?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I forgot. We put pine cones in there.
Where?
Yeah, and you have a TV above your head, correct?
Yes. Let me give you the tighter angle here.
Oh, look at that bookshelf.
Look at the bookshelf.
Oh, big screen. Okay.
You like my TV, right?
Personally, I would have put it above the mantle. Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about this purchase here.
It's a little different layout.
Entertainment center. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about it.
All right, that looks like a solid coffee table. Looks like a little pottery barn or something.
Yeah, it's wood.
It's well decorated. So Nicole did a great job.
Yeah, great job. I mean, wait till you see my library.
Oh God!
I might actually have this many books though, because I do have a lot of books.
I 100% do. My storage unit is. I have so many books, dude.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I'm very proud that most of them have been read.
I have 10 shelves of books, and most I have not read, but I have hundreds.
I have so many, and I love that. Like that's what I'm saying. I would love to just have I remember my grandparents when I was growing up, they had a little room and it was called the den, right? Like you ever heard of a den? Like it was just my grandfather's room with a couch, 2 recliners, a desk, and just books. And he had his TV and that was his spot. A lot of nights he would fall asleep there. That was his get away from my wife and just I can do what I want, kind of area. There was always a little thing of peanuts. I'll never forget, right? Old man and his little peanuts. But I mean, it was awesome. And I just think, in the fact that, I'm looking for a place right now and stuff, like there are some non-negotiables and a room for either an office or something for myself, like that room where I can just go and escape and kind of have all my stuff. That's what I want to do. He either had a chessboard out or a puzzle going on, something in that room that was just him. I think that's important, man. And you kind of have it, right? You have downstairs where you kind of have your own little, I'm sure it's not the setup you would ultimately want, but at least you have something.
My dojo.
Your dojo. Yes, Daniel, son.
My dojo.
Hey, Kyrie Irving comes back tonight, baby. The big 3.
Oh, he done taking a break from practice?
Did you see what he said? I just needed a break. They're not even 10 games into the season, bro.
Oh, I guess,
Hey, the world is flat too, right, Kyrie? Okay.
Is he a flat earther?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Him and Kanye.
He went to Duke for a year.
I
know. Think about that.
Listen, he went to West Orange. Okay? The school I taught in.
He played at West Orange? I thought he was from Seton.
No, he went to he did, but middle school was West Orange.
Okay.
And the school I taught in taught him. And I can remember, I'll never forget it. The band teacher, because you have to take band in middle school, said, he's a different cat. It was his direct words. Before any of this stuff came out, hey, Kyrie is a different cat.
Interesting.
If you're saying that about a kid in 6th grade, he's a different cat. So look, you want to pay him all that money? Go for it. You just deal with it.
Interesting.
Interesting, Troy. Just like you, buddy. Interesting.
That is interesting. That's interesting that Kyrie's so different. I wouldn't have thinking a guy that chose. I guess sometimes when they choose the school they go to, they do choose it purely for basketball purposes.
Or maybe he literally just is that, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe he's one of those so smart you can't, you know what I mean? Maybe he's too smart. Maybe overthink, I don't know, just a different, who knows? I don't even want to get into it. Because at the end of the day, he's doing a lot of things that.
At the end of the day, his house looks nicer than my virtual house.
I like it. It's nice. It's a little too nice, to be honest. It's not really.
Although I might arrange.
That couch looks comfortable.
It does look comfortable.
Daddy, where's your library that you're talking about?
Right there. There's the library. Right. I know, because it's mirrored. You got to go the opposite. It's there. You go.
Objects in the mirror may appear closer. Boom. Whoops. Okay.
All right. That's a good show.
I like it.
Oh, Troy wanted to do the picks. First of all, Troy, you missed yesterday. We congratulated you on finishing second, which is amazing. So this week, it's very simple. There's only 2 teams you could choose. Okay, I think we might have reviewed this offline. So do you want to come a little closer without destroying the oh, wow, look how nice our house is.
Hey, Troy, just a quick question. You see that team on Daddy's shirt?
Here, you put this in.
Troy, you see that team on Daddy's shirt?
Yeah, go ahead.
You see that team on Daddy's shirt?
My shirt. Here.
You see it, right?
Cowboys.
Do we like them?
I like the Cowboys.
But Troy, we don't like them, right? What's our team, Troy?
I think Cowboys are number 3 for Troy.
Really? Troy, who's 2?
Number 2 is
The Eagles, right?
Oh, God.
The Eagles. Who's number 1 is the Jets. Who's number 2? Troy, you're making a mess of my.
What did we do? Get Dex on him? What did Dex get on him?
number 2.
Yeah, was it the Eagles you said?
Packers.
Packers.
Oh, that's right. He did. He liked that Aaron Rodgers jersey.
That's right, Packers. I guess.
All right, Troy,
Cowboys.
you ready? We only got to pick 2 games.
2 games.
And then 4, my favorite.
2 games, Troy. What do you think? You ready?
Who? 2 games. All right, hold on. He's helping you. We got to pick. Let's listen. Listen, here.
Oh, perfect timing, Troy.
Here's
Hang
the pick.
on. I'm just finishing with the piano, Nicole.
All right, yeah. Play well. Here, God,
All right, Troy.
God.
The Buccaneers or the Packers?
Buccaneers or Packers?
That's tough.
Well, you said Packers are your second favorite team, so I think that's a kind of a slam dunk for you.
Bucks or Packers, Troy?
Who? Packers.
Really?
He doesn't want to upset the. He chooses against the Bucks 2 weeks in a row. He doesn't want. All right, so Packers. Go with your heart.
Then we
kid. Go with your
got
heart.
the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs.
Buffalo Bills or Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City. Don't pull that off. Kansas City Chiefs.
Because they won last time.
Yeah, she picked the Chiefs
Yeah.
last time. So Packers and Chiefs. Well, most
What is
would
that?
argue-
Repeat of what? Super Bowl 1, I think they're saying, right?
Yes. All right. You got to go to dinner.
Spread is still at 3, and the Bucks and Packers are still at 3.5.
I'm trying to help you. Last time I think you fell off the chair when we
Please
battled.
don't do that. It looks like this one has a lot of sharp corners in this house.
What's that? Yeah. This house. There's way too much furniture. On the episode I did alone, Troy tried to drive me crazy. If you watch the episode, I have to take the phone out of his hand, and then then I go to grab him, but he falls off the chair. It's just like clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm like, oh my goodness, just you gotta go. So anyway, yeah, so a good choice by him. Probably we'll go 2-0 with those choices.
Right. And if you wanted to even go spread, I mean, the Packers are -3.5 and the Chiefs are -3. So over under for Bucks Packers is 51 and Bills Chiefs is 54. And remember, Green Bay is going to be freezing.
I might go the under in that one.
I'd go the under on Bills Chiefs. I don't think 54 is getting scored in that game. No way. I think the Chiefs will probably 27-24.
Chiefs are not as dominant offensively as they were last year.
I will tell you right now, if Mahomes is not playing for some reason, I'm taking Bills all the way.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt in my mind. And I don't the Bucs defense is going to have to play out of their mind. And we'll dive into this later on in the week. I don't even want to get going on it because we'll just go forever. But I want Buccaneers Bills in the Super Bowl. That's what I want. But what I think is it's going to be Chiefs Packers. I wonder if this is the first time ever, if the Bucs win, that a Super Bowl is held as a home field. Because the Super Bowl is in Tampa.
I know, that'd be cool.
And I believe it's full capacity. Here we go. It's Florida. There's no restrictions, dude.
Yeah, there's no restrictions.
My grandparents just went down there. They actually just got the car off the train this weekend. So they're snowbirding now. What they do is they leave North Jersey, spend a night in Atlantic City, then they drive to Virginia, put the car on the train, and take the train to Florida. They make it like a 3-day trip, and they now they'll be in Tampa for the next till June.
Great.
Living that Florida life.
Flow rider.
Pitbull.
Yeah,
Your girl Lady Gaga was at the inauguration today.
Oh.
And J-Lo.
J-Lo.
And Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Seems like it was a good time had by
And
all.
Obama.
Oh, Mr. Obama.
But
yeah.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Great show. We'll see you later. Well, let's get our outro, right?
Oh my God, what am I waiting for? I mean, look, new place. I guess because you're in a new studio.
House. I mean,
You're in your new. I have a new house.
I'm very relaxed in my new place.
I'd like to see your tax.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Football and the Kitchen Sink with Coach Schuman and Coach DePascali. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. If you like what you heard, leave us a review and be sure to tell a friend. We will meet you back here next time on Football and the Kitchen Sink.
Boom.
All right.